is like quite a difficult time, and I suppose I'm speaking to a lot of my friends this year, and they're sort of saying, "Gosh, this Lent, like I don't feel that last year's Lent has sort of finished. Like I suppose because we never really got to celebrate Easter properly, and like it was just such a shame last year, and with all the hardships of the lockdown." What would you say to those people that I suppose are just like really struggling? They're sort of going, "Oh gosh, I don't think I can give any more this year."
Yeah. Just before I answer that, Stephen, while you were saying that, just occurred to me that the word for Lent in many cultures, say for example, like Italy, it's Quaresima, which is the word for 40. And that's the case in many Latin cultures. Spain, I think, something similar. But of course, it's similar to the word quarantine. Quarantine means 40, and of course that goes back to I think the Middle Ages, when ships coming into places would be quarantined for 40 days before the passengers would come off, to make sure they were free of plague. So there is a real connection in a way between the quarantine, as it were, that we're experiencing in this lockdown and a kind of quarantine in Lent. But back to your question about I mean, I would say one of the first things that occurs to me is to say, maybe this is an opportunity to revisit what maybe habits we've got into during the lockdown, maybe habits that we recognize are not helpful. You know, I know for myself, I can spend far too much time in front of the screen. You know, and specifically, I can spend far too much time watching the news endlessly, and that sort of feeds into a kind of an anxiety and so on. I think, you know, we'll look back and we'll realize that people have, you know, have perhaps started drinking more than that is healthy for them. Perhaps not getting out as much in terms of exercise, fresh air, and all of that stuff. So I think maybe this Lent could be an opportunity for us to revisit how we do lockdown well, or how we do it better. And that might just be a way of as it were, imposing some you could say penances in a way, but in a different way than in a typical Lent. Steve, just of course, another thing occurs to me to say that, of course, the lockdown is not self-imposed. You know, a penance is something we impose on ourselves, or it's something we choose. And of course, you know, lockdown and the experience of lockdown isn't something we choose. And so I might just also suggest in this regard that there's a way of relating to the restrictions, as it were, imposed on us by the circumstances. There's an invitation there for us maybe to choose that. So each day I say, well, you know, I'm not happy about it, but I choose the fact that I can't go and visit my friends or my family. You know, so I think there's an important thing there for our spiritual health and growth in holiness, is that we freely choose something, even though it's not something we'd want, because essentially that's what a penance is.
So thank you so much, Canon John, for being here today. It's been a real pleasure to have you as our guest. If you are new to this channel, can I encourage you to subscribe? And also, if you've got like lots of value from this, I really encourage you to hit the like button and to share this with your friends. It would be wonderful. But without further ado, I will say goodbye, and we'll see you next Wednesday at 7 p.m. So take care and God bless.